This is the grid that the Bombers call home.
You're throwing the tee in the ground. If your hand's not shaking, there's something wrong.
I'm in my element. It's evident that there's levels to the game. I'm in my element. Flow is like water. I'm forced to the fire. I'm feeling like gold. Gotta stay grounded, stay down to earth. Following God and you grinding, you do as you told. I don't work to make you like me, but I'm front and center. Word to Spike Lee. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live in Hobe Sound, Florida. The senior division is down to the final 8 hitters, and it's the best 8 hitters that are here. We got 4 world champions, Eddie Fernandez, Jeff Gavin, David Mobley, and T-Pep, Tom Peppard. 4 world champions are in the final 8. Eddie Fernandez is going to match up against Jeff Gavin, David Mobley, and Mike Bauman. Jeff Farley, Rob Orastaglio, E.J. McDonald, and Tom Peppard finish off the bottom half of this quarterfinal. We had a nice east wind for the last hour and a half. Eddie Fernandez went 419 yards with the longest drive of the entire tournament. Eddie's looking good. We just saw some flight scope data from him, and in the last set was at 218 miles per hour. And Eddie Fernandez is 52 years old, putting up those type of numbers, which is incredible.
Incredible. He went 419, 403, 419, 391.
Yep.
Which is
yeah, and
nice.
the guys that can hit it high. I mean, like I said, this. You know, really good hitters. There's 16 good hitters, but these guys are absolute monsters. These are the best in the business at their craft. And
if you could have picked beforehand, would you have picked all these guys?
I would have.
Yeah.
Sorry to anybody else that's listening to this in the senior division.
You've been around forever. You know,
Yeah.
You've seen all the shots, and we've been watching on the range. So
Yeah, but we're going to see Eddie Fernandez, Jeff Gavin, Dave Mobley, and Mike Bauman. Eddie Fernandez ended up taking 1,000 points, so he swept the field. Jeff Farley ended up beating Rob Orastaglio for the second spot, even though they had 800 points in the round robin of 16 hitters. So Farley and Orastaglio finished at 800. Jeff Gavin finished at 700, and Mobley 575, a couple 500s, and Mike Bauman at 475. So here we go. This is a quarterfinal, top half of the bracket. Eddie Fernandez, Jeff Gavin, David Mobley, Mike Bauman. You're looking at the 2022 world champion in the Masters division. On the left slot, you have the 2021 PLDA world champion as well, Jeff Gavin in slot number 2. Gavin's got 2 world championships. David Mobley has got world championships all over different platforms.
places. And
He's got 3 World Long Drive world championships, being in the Open, the Masters, and the Super Senior division.
Wow.
So and Mike Bauman ended up winning the national championship.
and Jeff Gavin coming off a win in Mesquite.
Yep. So Gavin faced Rob Orastaglio. We'll see Robbo on the bottom half of this bracket. Eddie Fernandez is in slot number 1. Will key in on his ball speed, 215 mile per hour ball speed. Gavin's the guy that you'll see anywhere between in Mesquite he was 208 up to 213. Gavin in slot number 2, the pride of Canada, the man who drinks from the fountain of youth. I feel like all these guys drink from the fountain of youth because
I agree with that.
they never get slower. They just keep hitting
improving.
bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Tim Hortons for him, though.
It is for sure. Eddie Fernandez with a 385, which is a good number to start off with. It's warm, and it is a crosswind right now. We have a south wind. This is the east to west grid. It is a south wind right now. So slot 1 is going to benefit a little bit of a cut. These guys, Eddie had a nice pocket of about 2 minutes where it started blowing really hard, and he hit a good ball anyways. He was already in the 390s and then went bang. He went 419, so he took full advantage of hitting some really big drives when the opportunity presented itself.
That he did, and he put up another big number here. We'll see what that will come out to, but I love his swing. His swing is so smooth, so efficient. I know he plays a lot of golf as well, and that's kind of what it looks like. He's able to transition pretty easily.
Gavin still working on a number here. Currently, David Mobley is in second place at 339 yards. Mike Bauman is at 334, and now Gavin puts a number on the board at 380. I mean, just based off of ball speed alone, Gavin and Eddie are faster, and these guys hit it high, and this is a carry grid up to 351, 352 yards, and you're seeing drastic differences. If these guys get the ball on the ground at 335 to 350, the ball goes literally nowhere. So it's more of of carry then, but now once you get past that 350-yard benchmark, you're seeing some huge numbers. So Eddie Fernandez at 385 and Jeff Gavin look like they're going to advance to the semifinal round. Coming up next is going to be Jeff Farley, Rob Oristaglio, E.J. McDonald, and Tom Peppard. But Eddie Fernandez looking good.
Introducing the new Bridgestone E9 Long Drive. Co-designed by World Long Drive athletes to push the limits of distance. Thanks to extreme ball speed and superior aerodynamic flight. Engineered for you to hit your longest drive. Drive the new E9 Long Drive. Extreme distance for your game.
The boys have figured out this golf ball. I know there was a lot of changes that these guys made the last 3 or 4 weeks preparing for this event, and they're starting to figure out what the capabilities of this golf ball is, and we're starting to see a lot of consistency from the best hitters and the fastest hitters in the world. So it's just like any other sport. You got to make adjustments, and the best in the world are making these adjustments. But Eddie Fernandez and Jeff Gavin are just cruising throughout this entire tournament. As expected, though. These guys are so fast they can compete in the Open Division. They can even win in the Open Division as well. I mean, I'm watching Eddie put up 222, 223, up to 225 mile per hour ball speed in practice sessions. And even Jeff Gavin as well is going right at 220. And Jeff hits just a heavy, heavy golf ball that carries and goes a long, long way. So
really thankful to Bridgestone for being a sponsor and helping us put together a ball that they can.
Well, Farley's here in slot number 1, a gentleman that's made the final 8 at the World Championships. He's been in the sport for at least 20 years. And Rob Oristaglio came in 2007. E.J. McDonald's been around a long time. And then Tom Peppard's been in the sport for over 20 years, who ended up winning a Masters Division World Championship out at the WinStar World Casino in Oklahoma.
Great grid there. We're seeing a lot of similar ball speeds here, and so to the point that we've been making all weekend is it's all about height and spin.
Yep.
In order to see who can actually put the ball out there the furthest.
So looking at these ball speeds right now, I remember Robbo was anywhere between, when he was hitting it well, 206, 207, 208. He actually got up to 210. So slot number 2, Robbo. Finished second to Jeff Gavin in Mesquite last event. Jeff Farley here in slot number 1. Waiting for some numbers on the board. Farley at 350, E.J. McDonald at 344, Oristaglio out right.
And Rob put up a big number earlier today at 386, so he definitely has it in them. The wind's picking up a little bit, but it's not as down as it was earlier.
Yeah, and we're looking at the flags right now. Some of these guys are going to have to make an adjustment. So if you're hitting a little bit of a cut, that if you're starting, down the right side, you're going to push these balls out of bounds, and that wouldn't have been the case and earlier on when they first started their qualifying. Oristaglio with a 204 ball right down the middle, 1,700 spin, 140 feet in the air. The question is, did he carry it past the 352-yard number-ish to get some rollout? 348. So there you go. He's got to hit a little bit higher. Hits a little bit higher, you're going to have a much bigger number. Because that number was 204. That was the fastest ball that I've seen so far. Oristaglio with a 366. So he is stepping up a little bit. So that fourth ball was a little bit farther, and it really just comes down to ball speed. Like, these guys are in and around 350 right now, and Oristaglio with just a little bit more ball speed is at 366. Farley advances to 373, and one thing that Farley has done all day and throughout his entire career, high launch, low spin. He hits it so high, and this is a high ball grid, and it looks like Farley's going to potentially take this one down here at 373.
It's definitely a grid that was built for him.
Yeah. Robbo here, 202, 152 feet in the air, a little bit higher, 2,100 spin. This one's covering right across the middle of the grid left, slightly fighting the crosswind.
So it looks like we'll see Jeff Farley.
Jeff Farley.
And we're waiting for one more ball.
From T-Pep and Rob Oristaglio.
But as we're waiting, just wanted to remind everybody, tomorrow we have a full schedule starting at 10 a.m. with the Open Division Round 3, 16 to 8. 12 might be what I've been waiting for all weekend. We start the women's division 12 to 2:15, and at 2:30 we will see the open division quarterfinals and finals. It's going to be a great one, so make sure you guys tune in tomorrow.
Yeah, they making a little bit of changes just to the time because of the weather. Jeff Farley takes down the set 373. Rob Oristaglio with a nice last 4 golf balls, hit 4 balls in play, ended up at 366. Tom Pepper 353, and EJ McDonald 351. So Farley, Oristaglio, Eddie, and Gavin are going to be in the semifinals.
You probably would have called it. I should have asked you beforehand.
Well, I mean, just based off of ball speed alone, you know, Robbo's like at Mesquite got up to 210. Gavin was up to 213 from what I was able to see once FlightScope put up the numbers. And then now Eddie was 218 in the last set when he could have just laid down, but he's smoothing it at 217,
he's
218.
really conserving all of his energy there. So it's going to be fun to watch these Final Four to see who's going to be in Final Two. Who do you have for the Final Two?
Well, I mean, just off ball speed alone, Eddie Fernandez and Jeff Gavin, they're the best in the business at their craft. And, I mean, they're really, really fast. And, you know, for me, I just want to see Gavin hit a ball and play right away.
Yeah.
Because if Gavin hits a Jeff Gavin golf ball right away, those guys like Oristaglio and Farley are probably going to press a little bit. That's what Rob did against Gavin, is that he was hitting up balls a lot of balls straight, but when Gavin put up a nice number, Rob was hitting dead pulls, just hitting them left, just trying to swing a little bit harder. So I think it's really important, especially for someone like Robbo or Farley, to put up a 70 ball right away and maybe apply a little bit of pressure to Eddie and Gavin, just so they know that they have a number that they got to catch. But Eddie Fernandez and Gavin are going to be the favorites in this set, but all of these guys are established long drivers that have had a great career.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Robbo. I think he can really put one out there and maybe have a little surprise for us.
Yeah, and Robbo's a local here. He's from South Florida, and you know, one of my best friends. And it was, you know, it's cool to see him compete right after having melanoma surgery. He had melanoma surgery. He had it on his head. He's had a chest, his bicep, and his back. He's got his family here. He's got his, you know, good friends that are supporting him today. And you know, it's nice to see Robbo come out. And I've watched him hit golf balls for a long time. He hits a nice penetrating ball flight, but I know for himself he has to hit a little bit higher. So I said if that's one of his weaknesses, his kryptonite, is that he's just not naturally going to hit the ball 180 feet in the air, which Eddie, Gavin, and Farley can do. So here we go. Eddie Fernandez with a bullet right down the middle, 212 mile per hour, 3,200 spin, spun it just a little bit, but I think that's going to be okay. Probably looking in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, that's a great ball to start with.
The wind a little bit down and right. There we go, 369 from Eddie Fernandez.
Jeff Farley putting one in as well.
And Robbo just putting a ball on the number on the board, just getting something out there. And if we go back and look at his sets, I think Robbo hit his first ball in play in every single set.
I love his swing. Is so interesting because he creates so much power, but it doesn't look like he's swinging hard at all. He really has a great kind of time. I think of some of the most silkiest swings in golf, and he definitely.
Still waiting on a number from Gavin here in slot number 3. The launch monitor didn't pick up on that one. Robbo with the 202 ball, pulled it down the left side, fighting the crosswind slightly. The flags are more downwind, so I don't think this is going to affect it as much. But Farley is at 355, Eddie Fernandez at 369. Gavin still waiting on a number. Eddie Fernandez has been on autopilot all day. His swing looks beautiful. You know what? We can say it. It looks phenomenal.
I'd say that.
Eddie's got an awesome swing.
He also puts a lot of work into his pre-round regiment of stretching and working out, and I think that's one of the greatest things about these guys and why they're able to keep up such high ball speed and high club head speeds, because they continue to work out and stay mobile and fit.
Yeah, Robbo with a little floater down the right side. He hit just a 201, 202 ball that just kind of floated, and that kind of benefits that left to right. So Robbo hits a cut into a cut wind. Ball stays in the air a little bit longer, 376 yards. So Robbo has taken the lead against Eddie Fernandez, Jeff Gavin, and Jeff Farley. Gavin working on a number here. Has to center punch this one. And it doesn't look like Gavin likes his last shot. Farley hit one right down the middle. For Farley, hit it perfect, his last ball. So let's see. Jeff Farley's longest ball of the day was, do we have it?
Yes.
We don't.
I want to say It was somewhere around.
He was in like the 80s.
360s.
You know, he was 80. He was in the 80s. So, and Farley hits a nice high golf ball. So underline is Eddie Fernandez. Rob Oristaglio's fourth ball was flirting down the right side as of right now. He is in the lead at 376. He's underlined. So we're going to see Rob Oristaglio in the finals.
Along with Eddie Fernandez.
Yeah.
We will see you guys right after this break.
You can compete for your shot to make it to the World Long Drive Championship. With a $25 community membership, you'll get the opportunity to join a local qualifier in your area in hopes of advancing to regionals, a 10% discount on merchandise, and insider access to pre-sales and registrations in the newsletter. Join now at worldlongdrive.com. Catch every single World Long Drive Tour competition right here on the World Long Drive YouTube channel. The Amateur, Senior, Women's, and Open Division Championship will be available on the Golf Channel. To stay up to date on everything WLD, follow us on social at World Long Drive.
The 2022 Masters Division World Champion Eddie Fernandez, making his season debut, has made his first final in his first tournament of the year, going up against Rob Oristaglio. This is Robbo's second tournament of the year and his second final. So it's going to be a great match. What I want to see Rob do, just hit the first ball in play. I like that floater that he hit, that little baby cut. Stick with that and see what happens. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's not a ball speed match for Rob. He just has to hit a good ball and put him in play and see what happens. Because if Eddie center punches a golf ball, it's the law of physics. Eddie's going to win this tournament. He went 419 yards for a reason, like twice. So
with another 403, and I think it's going to be interesting to see as well. I'm looking forward to Eddie gassing it a little bit. He's been on cruise control here. He doesn't have to.
He doesn't need to.
But I feel like he's going to put one out there and then he's going to gas it.
Absolutely. But this is the beauty of the Final 8. This is a single elimination battle right now. Rob Oristaglio had just as good a chance as anybody else winning, and here he is for the second time. And if he keeps putting himself in finals, he's going to win.
He's bound to win.
Is today his day, or is it going to be Eddie Fernandez, the two-time world champ? Here we go. Eddie Fernandez with a sweeping draw right down the left side, 165 feet in the air, 208 ball speed, 1,400 spin. Not too much spin from Eddie. That one probably is going to fall a little bit out of the sky, but Flight Scope has been giving us rough estimates as far as distance goes. That's a good number because Rob, that went at 376, they guesstimated it to be about right around 370, and then Eddie's was a little bit farther. Eddie Fernandez at 377.
That's a great start for your first ball.
Yep.
Now he can kind of go at it.
Let's look at the characteristics. Robbo, okay, just based off the ball speed, he center punched this, but I don't think it's going to be fast enough. But that is a good profile golf ball, carried 361 on the Flight Scope. Spun it a little bit, which is fine. He's downwind 151 feet in the air. Let's take a peek at that number, but I think Eddie's ball is going to be a little bit better. Robbo, 364. Both of these gentlemen have 4 balls to go. Eddie builds on his set. Yeah. He's at 391 yards. And as you said, he's probably going to step on the gas.
Now. Yeah, he's going for it.
Eddie's going to step on the gas. He's at 391. Ooh, 224.4, 132 feet in the air. Eddie letting it go. And Rob's longest drive of the day was 386 yards. So Robbo is going to have to center punch this one and get some help here.
Oh, he likes that one.
204. That's Rob's fastest ball of the day. A little bit of a pull down the left side. 2,200 spin, 132 feet in the air. Don't know if this one's going to stay in play, but he's fighting a slight east to west or south to north wind, so fighting a crosswind a little bit. So if I'm Rob right here, I'm going to try to hit 204, 150 feet in the air and hit that cut. Hobe left. So Eddie Fernandez, 1 ball away from winning his season debut in Hobe Sound in the Masters Division. The 2022 World Champion.
I think he just gave us a little smile.
The 2018 Masters Division World Champion. Letting it fly. Putting up a ton of speed. Eddie looks awesome. What a swing. Or a Staglio with one right down the middle, but I don't think this one's going to be enough. You want me to interview? Okay.
And there we have it. Eddie Fernandez is our 2023 Senior Division Champion here at Hobe Sound, Florida. What a great way to debut this year.
I have prepared for 7 years to say this with a microphone. Edward Michael Joseph, William Bartholomew, Arantes Sanchez, Vicario, Conchita Martinez, Hernandez Fernandez. Congratulations on winning the 2023 Masters Division Hobe Sound Championship.
Thanks, buddy. I'm tired.
I mean, you were on autopilot all day. I know it's really difficult for you to throttle back, but what was your game plan coming in today?
I made a change from Thursday. I hit it probably the worst I've ever hit it in a competition in 8-9 years since I've been in this sport. And I made an equipment adjustment, and then my shoulders were a little open the other day. I just felt discombobulated, so I made a change and hit it a lot better today. Got a little tired there at the end, but it was good.
You can compete in the open division.
Yeah.
Do you want to compete in the open division?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully I'll be at Worlds in October. Just need to qualify. So, but I've got the gas, no doubt. The ball flight, and I just got to get in better shape because I'm tired. All the young guys are always like, "Why aren't you competing in the open division?" I'm like, "Well, you try to be 52 years old hitting in both divisions." So, it's good. Great to have Eileen here and Jeff and Mallory and the Clear guys and Doc Murphy with Airways. It's awesome.
Congratulations on the win. Eileen, you better cook him some great crescent rolls tonight. Eddie Fernandez is your champion in the Masters Division. Congratulations.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
We'll be back right after this.